Your first day of marriage must not begin with a baby bump. And this is because I see a lot of couples who make these mistakes. And of course, a lot of persons are still making these mistakes. And you have to understand it that if you are newly wedded, your first year of marriage is a time that you must not give to your babies, to your children. You must not welcome a baby in your first year of marriage. And this is because of the negative experiences that a lot of persons who do this have. And that is why I'm making this video, so that you wouldn't be a victim to that. I understand the excitement of welcoming a new baby as a couple because, of course, that is your first experience, and probably because you see other people who have babies and you are so much in love with babies, with children, and you can't just wait to have yours. But the fact remains that in marriage, you have to really be conscious of the decisions you are making if you really want to succeed in it. So your first year in the marriage shouldn't be about having a baby or getting a child. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can actually wait for the first year that you got married before getting a baby. Like, you can just live without a child in your first year. You can actually begin planning for your child or welcoming a child maybe from the second year, third year, or as long as you can wait. This is because marriage has been affected so negatively a lot of times because the baby came more earlier than they should or expected. And I believe that people make this mistake because they don't understand the difference between having a marriage and having a family. Now, being married is so different from having a family. Now, what you need to understand in the word marriage is just between you and your partner. Is the word marriage is a makeup of you and your spouse. But when you talk about a family, that is when you, your spouse, and the children are involved. But of course, your first approach to the relationship when both of you are coming together is called marriage. You are coming because you loved yourselves. You are coming because you want to be there for yourselves. You are coming because you want to be there for your partner. And of course, children and babies are secondary to your reason of coming together or the purpose of the relationship. But of course, a lot of times people miss this because they don't really understand what works for marriage and relationship. Now, you see a lot of marriages where children comes in and they begin to add so much pressure in the first year of marriage. And of course, the purpose of the marriage will not be understood because the first day of your marriage is a time where you build the foundation for your family. Now, you want to welcome children into your home. That's beautiful. But of course, you need to prepare for them before they show up. If you don't do that, you are not going to be prepared for what you're going to see or what you're going to receive. Because you coming together to be with your spouse is because you love your spouse and want to spend a lot of time with them. Remember the moments when you can't wait to hold your partner, you can't wait to have a night with them, you can't wait to hang out, plan your life, and run your lives together. But when you begin to have a baby, you are going to be experiencing some things you never expected. Now, the baby thing, the baby bump thing is just about the fact that you've just, put to bed. That's just the moment when this whole celebration and everything is going to just be on the peak, because at that moment, the new baby just came. It's a new experience, it's a new stuff, and you see yourself and your partner so excited and so happy. But what comes after then? That's just a whole lot of journey, because when you are working with your spouse in marriage, it's a lifetime experience. And if you welcome any baby into your life also, the baby is going to be there with you, and it's also going to be a lifetime experience. So all I'm saying in this video is that you must not celebrate the welcoming of a baby in the first day of your marriage. It's important to be patient enough to really know what you came for. You came for the marriage first before you start talking about the family, which the children is involved. So to build a successful family, you first of all need a successful marriage. And the marriage here is the relationship between you and your spouse, between you and your partner when the children are not there. Because marriage is about you and your partner. It's not about the children. The family is about the children, but the marriage is about you and your partner, because you are the one who got married to your spouse, your partner, and your partner got married to you. Your children are never married to you. When you build a successful marriage, that is when you are going to have a successful family. But when you don't have a successful marriage, automatically you cannot have a healthy family. You cannot have a healthy home, because it takes the both of you in marriage to be able to have a beautiful family where the children are welcomed. So if you think you want your children to be comfortable and love what they are coming into, what the world they are coming into, then you need to give time to build the marriage first before the family. Now, in the first year of marriage, what you do in the first year of your marriage is that you get all over yourselves. That is when you learn your partner. That is when you bond with your partner. That is when you have a lot of discussion, a lot of experience, because you cannot probably know all about your partner until you begin to live with them on day to day. Because while you are dating or courting, I believe that most of the people, you don't stay together. But once you get married and you are together in the same house, that is when you begin to learn every detail about what your partner can do, what your partner can take, how to relate more better, how to bond more better, and how to fellowship together. And that is very, very important to God, because both of you need to really learn yourself, because the Bible says that two cannot work together except they agree. And when there is no agreement, that is when we open doors for the enemy to come into our marriages and begin to afflict it. And of course, when children come, they come with a lot of things. And I'm going to be talking about the negative experiences you'll be having when you have children more earlier than you should in your marriage. Number one of those negative experiences is that you wouldn't have enough time for sexual intimacy, which is very, very, very important in your first year of marriage. Yes, you just got newly wedded, like you just got to your spouse, and of course, you are very much sexually active. And this is what you've been waiting for. You've been keeping yourself, you've been waiting for this moment. And of course, is worth the wait. And now you have your partner with you all for yourself. And of course, it's a time to really have all the fun, like really have that experience. Because of course, when you don't really give yourself to that, it's going to affect every process in your marriage, because the foundation of our sexual life in marriage is so important to how it's going to affect every process in our marriage. But of course, when a baby shows up, this is, you are going to lose focus on this sexual intimacy, because the woman's body is changing. So you, the man, would find it difficult to come close and have it all, because as of then your hormones and everything is so much in need of sexual intimacy. But now your wife just took in, and of course you can't have all that, because sometimes she's going to be happy, sometimes she's going to be, the hormones in her body will just be complicated, and sometimes she could be having some early morning sickness and some of the experiences that marriage comes in with. And that is not worth it. And sometimes you may not have the privilege of going out with your wife and having all the fun with her out there as newlyweds, just because she took in, just because a baby is coming. And that is distraction number one. Like, the distraction has already started. And most couples at this moment have issues. They have misunderstandings because your wife is not giving you enough sex, and the wife on her own end doesn't even understand what her body is doing to her, and she's trying to put the whole thing together, and she will begin to see you as someone who doesn't care, who doesn't understand. And that has caused a lot of issues in marriage. You see a lot of couples, newlyweds, having complications with communication and all that, just because a baby is about to walk into the family. And of course, you don't need all that stuff. Secondly, is that you're going to be having more chances of misunderstandings and quarrels and all that, because your wife is simply having mood swings. It's natural for every pregnant woman to have mood swings, especially if it is her first time. And you can't even tell why it's so. And if you don't have understanding, you are never going to manage this properly. Her hormone changes, her mood swings, and all that stuff. And you just have to deal with that. You don't need that in your first year of marriage. The third negative experience is that you are never going to be all there for yourselves anymore, because the baby is coming in between. Yes, the baby is requiring a lot of attention too. Like, the woman, your baby, your wife is going to be going to the hospital, and of course, all that stuff will be happening. Some divided attentions just to support the babies emotionally, financially, physically, and all that. From pregnancy, of course, we are going to be giving the support emotionally and financially as well, because there's going to be some antenatals and all those stuff. It's just part of what comes in with the baby. So again, is that you'll be dealing with pressure. Babies come with a lot of pressure, and it takes maturity and readiness to manage that. You'll be dealing with pressure, financial pressure to provide for the child, care, and emotional pressure, because sometimes they cry uncontrollably and you just have to fix them. You just have to make sure that they are comfortable. And physically, you are going to be creating time for them. So your wife may stop working to take care of the baby, or you stop working to take care of the baby. Someone needs to give some attention. And at some point, you may have to still work, but of course, you are going to still be there presently to make sure that the baby doesn't fall into some, funny stuff, or break his or her leg, or have some issues. So 360-degree attention will be required from you. And of course, when you're busy with that, you can't probably be busy with, meeting your partner's emotional needs. And just 1 year that you've got married, you haven't even bonded, you haven't even loved yourself enough. That thing you've been waiting for while you were cutting and dating, you've not really experienced it. And here you are taking care of a baby, and baby is taking almost everything, because babies don't really care how you feel about what they are demanding. Naturally, they are demanding those stuff, those attention and everything, and you have to provide them, because you can't leave it for anyone to fix. So finally, is that most couples are ready to just build the marriage and not the family. And of course, we don't really know the difference between building a marriage and building a family. But most couple, of course, what they are ready for is to build a marriage, because they're just seeing their spouse and them, or you are just seeing your partner and yourself, but you don't really know that welcoming a child is part of the business, and it's called family, is another level of commitment, is another level of investment. So most couples are simply ready to build a marriage and not the family. So you have to know the difference between the both. So if you are not ready to build a family, do not welcome a baby yet. Just focus on building a marriage. Make sure that you build the foundation of your relationship, which is more important. Get to know your partner's love language, get to know their strengths, their weaknesses, what they feel like they want, and of course prepare for the baby to come in. Prepare a healthy marriage so that when the baby comes in, you will begin to provide the necessary needs of the child. Money is not everything that the baby needs. The baby needs you and your partner much more than they need the money. And of course, when you don't really build your marriage before welcoming the baby, that is when you see yourself sometimes fighting before your children, quarreling before your children, because you didn't take time to learn yourselves, to adjust, to really be, bonded more well and comfortable with who you are living with before welcoming your child. So you should have control on how you welcome a child, or when a baby comes in, you should have control on the stages of marriage. So don't begin what you are not ready for. If you are not ready to have a baby, to have a child, please do not begin the journey, because it can really wear you out. It can really be stressful. It can really end. It has the capacity to end the marriage, because there are many marriages that the pressure that the children comes with has pushed the couples to the place of war, the place of fighting, the place of nagging and negative experiences that automatically takes them down to the place of divorce. And you don't just need that. You need to know where your pressure is coming from. If your pressure is coming from early childbearing in your marriage, of course you should know where it's coming from, so that you can focus and deal with that. Take your time to really do what works for you. Don't be in a hurry to welcome a baby in your first year of marriage. Don't be in a hurry to do that. A baby is a blessing, but timing is wisdom. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share my video to your friends, family, and don't forget to comment, because I want YouTube to promote this video. Thank you for watching.